Hi everyone, it's Giselle. I just wanted to continue on this series of discussing false twins, karmic partners, and soulmates. And the topic that I wanted to discuss today is the waiting and the patience that's needed on this journey. And I do like to share more of my personal journey because I think that may help some people to relate rather than just giving a generalized overview, which might be a bit confusing or just not all that resonating. It may not feel as real. So basically, on the last session that I talked through the karmic partners and false twins, I did discuss how I noticed the difference between what a false twin relationship and a true twin flame relationship feels like. But I wanted to focus on the concept of waiting and patience that's needed on this journey. I feel that this topic is very important and it's really pushing to come through today because I've again had a lot of people asking me around time frames and when they get a reading with me, yes, I can tune in energetically because I'm an empath. I can step into your divine partner's energy and give you their thoughts, messages, what they are feeling on the physical, what they are wanting to, on the spiritual. But time is tricky. Sometimes I do get flashes of numbers popping in and I can give you that, but time basically is an illusion. And on the spiritual, time doesn't even register because A, we're already together, we've always been together, and B, things can either be sped up or slowed down depending on the choices that you make. So you can choose to slow it down if you decide to work against the grain, if you're working against the current and constantly questioning things, not accepting just the moment for what it is, constantly thinking that you need to make, your divine partner do something, wanting to control the situation basically. And I feel very strongly that is energetically stopping and blocking things. I mean, it's not going to stop it permanently, of course not. But you are putting a hurdle. If you consider your journey as a race, and you're one of the runners, if you are thinking in a negative way, it's like you are actually putting in a hurdle that you're then going to have to jump over, and you're making things much more difficult for yourself and for your twin because you're both running together. Whether you have them in your life physically or not, you are both running together. The reason why I say this is because whilst I may not have met them that long ago, we've not been physically in contact for decades, my journey has been ongoing for at least a decade. 10 years ago, I could already feel that there was someone out there for me. But of course, because I was not as advanced into my awakening process or into this journey yet, I was very much attached to the karmic relationship I had at the time because it was comfortable, because it was something tangible, something I could feel, see, and experience on a physical level. That's the only thing that was keeping me there. But I knew in my heart that person I was with wasn't for me. And even though I could feel that there was someone else out there for me, helping me along energetically and spiritually, because as soon as I was made aware of what twin flames were, and what this type of journey looked like. It resonated so deeply and so strongly within my soul. I felt like, wow, I recognize something here that I haven't before. Other things didn't used to resonate with me, such as religions, um, things of that nature. They would never really, I would always feel like an outsider, like I was not 100% invested in it because it didn't resonate. It didn't make me feel good. It made me feel judged. It made me feel like I wasn't accepted for who I was. And so I started a journey to try and find what it is that resonated with me. Find my soul family, my tribe, even though I didn't have any physical evidence of anything existing just yet. Just reading that article on twin flames just resonated so much that I knew that whatever I was doing at that time was no longer any good for me. And yes, I stayed in that relationship for longer than I should have. I was already in it for about 2 years, but part of me just really felt in my heart, this isn't going to last. This isn't my destiny. This isn't true love. I knew it in my heart. I knew it so much. But part of me was stubborn. Part of me thought, well, this is comfortable. This is something you know. It also didn't help the fact that I hadn't fully taken the time out to find myself. And I really needed to do that. I needed to really be alone and be single for a proper a year at least, if not longer, to truly attempt to find myself. And I had been single for a little bit before that relationship, maybe 6 months, but that wasn't sufficient. I didn't find myself because I was constantly trying to find love in other people. And of course, when you are constantly searching, you are not disconnecting and taking the time out to truly find yourself. But all throughout that relationship, I could feel in my heart that this is not for me. That there was someone out there. And this is something I've always felt in my heart, is that there was always someone out there, someone who resonated so highly with my soul that they could never misunderstand me. They would never judge me. They would never they would never reject me, And I felt that so much. But how do you even go about looking for that person when you don't even know if they exist? It was so confusing, but I knew deep down that relationship I was in was not destined for me. I knew it in my heart. But yeah, I did stay in it for 8 years, so about 5 more years after I'd realized that really, this doesn't really feel right. I'm sure that this isn't going to be forever. I stayed because it was all I knew. And during that time, we did have some massive arguments, and we had actually parted ways, even considering, maybe we should start seeing other people. And then that didn't work out, and then we kind of stayed together anyway. But I always felt like they stayed with me out of comfort. I stayed with them out of comfort. But that wasn't good enough. And it really didn't do us any favors in the long term, because what needs to end will come to an end eventually. And it did. And then when it did, I was again on the same path, looking for love outside of myself. Oh, I've broken up with this guy. I really need to go and find someone else now. And within a couple of weeks, I was already going out on dates and meeting new people. None of them really resonated with me. Until a month it was about a month. Yeah, about a month in after breaking up, I met my false twin. And this, of course, has shaken up my entire world. I felt that we clicked, we resonated so highly, and I felt we were kindred spirits, you know? It felt so real. The attraction was there, the understanding. It was a connection, a very strong one. And I sadly did mistake it for my true love. But now that I have found my true love, I know that that wasn't my soul, the other half of my soul, basically. It was just someone who carried certain aspects of that so that I could step out of wanting to go back into the karmic situation and really look for what it is that my soul wants. But I told you this story because I want you to kind of open up your heart more towards your divine partner and give them some understanding, because they may well be going through something similar. If they are, but not all of them are obviously, but if they are in karmic relationships, like I was with my ex for 8 years, they could well just be staying there out of fear and out of comfort. And that's what I did. I was there out of fear, thinking, well, everyone else I'd gone out on dates with in the meantime when we did break up didn't resonate with me. I might as well stay with this guy. That's not good enough. That is not good enough. And you know it in your heart. And they know it. They are feeling it. Energetically, I am getting that once they make the choice to break away from that and to truly go after what their heart desires, they will snap out of it, and they can speed things along at a pace that's just so fast. You know, everything can change in the blink of an eye, basically. But I hope that this story helps you to understand that whilst, you know, I've only met my divine partner a couple of years ago, doesn't mean that I had a really fast journey. I was on this journey well over a decade. And yes, I didn't always know their physical form throughout this time, but I knew them on a spiritual, on an energetic level, on a soul level. I knew them, and I knew that one day they would show up. Actually, I've always had this sense. Ever since I was little, I always felt like there is someone out there for me. Someone who will completely understand and accept me because they are me and they know me. So if your divine counterpart is going through a karmic situation, whether that be with a relationship or anything else, show some compassion. And whenever you do,